Coming up in today's video, inside here is a 1980s, early 1980s portable television video studio. So a portable VHS-C video cassette recorder. So the camera's working. That's good then. Oh, it's working. It's recording. Is there any sound? Can't hear any audio. And there was still no audio with the second test. So this has now turned into a repair video. For that and more, stay tuned and I'll see you right after the intro. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. I was going through some of my stuff lately thinking what can I make a video about next while I'm in the middle of making a big video. Usually I just do teardowns for something quick just to get my fix as it were. So I like to create something at least once a week. And then I remembered some old video gear I bought recently and there's quite a lot involved with it, so I thought it might make an interesting video. So we'll have a look at that. Certainly not light. There we go. This weighs just under 10 kilos. Inside here is a 1980s, early 1980s portable television video studio. There's a lot of gear in here to go through, a lot to have a look at. Like I said before, I thought it'd make quite an interesting video. There's at least one item in here I know a lot of you will be very interested in. So let's take a quick look inside, see what's in here. Have a quick look at each item, and then hopefully at the end of the video we'll do a test and see if any of it works. Got a tripod there. Microphone. It's one of those old telescopic microphones, which I always find quite amusing. That's a JVC hot shoe adapter there, accessory adapter. Some cables, remote control. This is where it starts getting interesting now. Here's the first part. Obviously you already know what I'm going to be opening up because you've seen the thumbnail. I've got quite a few of these actually, but none of them have worked yet, so I'm hoping that this one will work. Some nice leather cases are coming, but unfortunately it's missing the main flap. And here we go, this is the video recorder part. So a portable VHS-C video cassette recorder. Got a flap there so you can cover up the controls. Got a 10-pin camera input there, which was standard for the 1980s. Power switch, record lock. Got a digital counter readout there with a memory, and that's your eject button. And then you've got a remote socket, mic, and a headphone socket. On the side, we've got tracking, RF out, audio out, and a B&C composite video output. Battery goes on the back there, or the AC adapter. And on this side, you've got a battery button, a release button there. There's a screw hole there, which I shall cover later on. And you've got your mounting brackets there for the carry strap. This one didn't actually come with the carry strap, but I think I have got one floating around somewhere from other machines. This is branded FERGUSON VIDEOSTAR, but it's actually a JVC machine, as some of you already know. This came in various different guises over the years. I think I've got a couple of these, one JVC and a Normandy version as well, all exactly the same machine, just a different brand. But yeah, it's a lovely little machine, it's quite weighty. I'll say I've got 4 or 5 of these and they all seem to be faulty. They have a problem with the lacing mechanism for the loading arms for the tape mechanism, and they crack basically, so the guides crack and you can't lace up, unfortunately. Seems to be quite a big problem with these. Let's see what else we've got in here. Oh, the camera. Here we are, here's the camera. This is a tube-based camera. Again, Ferguson VIDEOSTAR. Everything in here is Ferguson VIDEOSTAR branded. Quite a nice little camera actually, very small and light compared to some of the others that were around at the same time period. It's got a built-in black and white CRT viewfinder on the top there. I'll do a close-up on this one. On the side there, you've got your camera connection pins for the cable itself, which is that one there. Invariably these end up missing for the camera cable itself, unfortunately. That's the other end there that connects to the portable VHS-C recorder. Underneath that cap there's a remote socket. Let's just get that off and have a look. And I've actually got the remote control with this one, which again is another rarity. and that plugs straight in on the side. It's a very similar connection system actually to the electronic viewfinder, and that plugs in on the side there. And then on this side you've got your power button, filter for indoor or outdoor, sensitivity, and white balance standard or auto. You can adjust it as well. And then you've got your iris control there, automatic close or fully open. The lens on this is a TV zoom lens, 8 to 48mm, f1 to 1.2. And you've got a manual zoom control there, and you've got an electronic on the handle. Be interesting to see if that works actually, because they're belt driven usually. And you've got macro there as well. You pull that out slightly if I remember rightly. I think it goes the other way. No autofocus on this camera, manual focus only, which can be quite a pain actually. You can forget yourself because you only rely on the black and white viewfinder. This one's got the usual pitting in the viewfinder where the sun has been shone into that, magnified and melted the internal plastics, but it usually doesn't affect the CRT. And underneath you've got a standard tripod mount there, and obviously the model number, which is a 3V34 FERGUSON VIDEOSTAR colour video camera. Quite a high serial number looking at it, depending on where it starts I suppose. But again, I've got a JVC version of this, and that doesn't actually work, so hopefully this one will work. So that's those two parts. Got a tape there, VHS-C tape. And the interesting bit. Now these are very hard to come by, these are. And this is a colour portable CRT video monitor to match. Again, JVC made this originally. This is just a rebadged version. It's got a little shield there for blocking the light out, so you can view it in bright conditions. There should be a plastic canopy over this, but unfortunately it's missing on this one. And off the top there, control-wise, I'll go up here. You've got 2 video inputs here, or 3 actually. Sorry, 2 video inputs and 1 video output. Audio in and out. And you've got a button there to change the impedance for the video input. Input select. Because there is a cable, here it is. This cable here, which is a DING plug, plugs into there. And then these 2 ends plug into the portable video cassette recorder. But the beauty of this thing is you can use other devices on this as well, games consoles and things like that. It's got a built-in speaker, and then for controls you've got volume, contrast, brightness, colour, vertical hold, PAL or C-cam. So it will work on both TV systems. And one of the other neat features about this is the power supply is removable. I can get it off. There we go. And you can put a battery on here, the same battery that the video cassette recorder takes. So theoretically you can actually take this out with you and watch back what you've recorded instantly in colour, which would have been a real game changer back in the day. Because usually we just rely on your tiny black and white CRT viewfinder. And then underneath here you've even got a tripod mount and a little stand to stand it up to view at an angle. Yes, it's a lovely little machine this. I've been after one of these for ages. I did actually end up getting the JVC one as well. And they both work, so I've already tested these. Got the last test date there on the side, 1995 and 1997. Wow. And the address of a school on the side there, which has been engraved in, unfortunately. Oh, and on the back there there's a vertical hold button. Yeah, very desirable piece of technology that. Here, this is an adapter to put on the bottom of the camera. That'll screw on there, I believe. Yeah. Let's do that a bit tighter. You've got a shoulder strap, which is handy. Thought of everything, haven't they? That's your little microphone there. I'm surprised the phone was still on actually, because usually that perishes. I think that's about it for in the case. Yeah. Got a battery here. I have actually already charged this battery, amazingly. it went on for about 45 minutes to an hour charging. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually works. If it doesn't, we'll have to try the mains adapter. Some very old lens cleaners there. I bet they've gone long past their sell-by date. Well, another little adapter there, which is actually for something else. So I'll show you that next actually. Let's just put this case to one side. It's a lovely case. So this one's got the JVC model number on the front. The case in itself probably weighs just over 1 kilo. But that's not all, there's also something else. And this is another case for the same amount of gear. There's something else inside of here. Look at this. I bet you're thinking, what's that? Some of you already know. Again, this is another device that's very hard to come by. And what this allows you to do is put the video cassette recorder on the back, the camera in the front, and it all joins together using this connector system here. That's your 10-pin camera socket. That's your pause. And then on the front here, this part here connects to the camera itself, where the camera cable goes into. And then on this side, you've got the control buttons for everything. So basically this turns it into a full-size camcorder. So that was JVC's idea basically to the camcorder back around 1983-84. I'll put this together in a moment and we'll see what it looks like. And then we'll test it out as well and see if the camera and the recorder actually works. But I just love the awkwardness of this thing. It's just so clumsy. And I bet it was expensive as well to buy back in the day. I have got the JVC version of this, but I didn't realise when I bought it a lot of the parts were missing. So I guess you could say I got spares. I know that the viewfinder holder is missing off of this. There's usually a square box where the viewfinder attaches. So what we'll do next then, we'll test actually the video recorder of the camera on its own, and then later on in the video we'll put it all into this and I'll show you how it all goes together. Okay, so let's start connecting this up. Let's get the little video recorder first. These are Nikon batteries, so it's quite amazing really that this is taking a charge after all these years. Let's come on. Let's turn it off again, we'll get the camera plugged in. So these only go in one particular way, so if you ever have one of these, don't force it in. I don't know what it is, but I prefer these things when they will come in different parts like this. For me, I personally find it a bit more of a fun experience rather than just picking up a camcorder or even a mobile phone like what we use today. So we'll get this monitor set up. What I'll do is I'll point it to this camera here and we'll see if an image comes through from the camera. It may not work, but I have got other cameras I can try if it doesn't. Provided they still work, of course. So that's the composite video, then audio output connected straight to the television. So that's that one on there already. If I'm rightly, this monitor won't actually come on until there's an input signal going into it. So let's power it up, shall we, and see if it works. Is that cable all the way in? Oh, that cable's hanging out slightly. Just turn it on and off again. Thought that didn't click actually. There's a slight little bent piece of plastic just there, probably stopping it from clicking. There we go, I can feel it's gone in now. Right, let's try again. In fact, you can turn it on from here, so here we are. Right. It's warming up. Obviously these don't come on instantly like CCD cameras. Oh, I can see something coming through. It's the camera on the viewfinder. Anything on the TV? Ah, there we go. So the camera's working. Oh, that's good then. Brilliant. And the viewfinder's working as well. So we've got an image coming through on that. Let's get a tripod on this. Well, I can see myself on that screen there. So we know the camera's working. I don't know how good it is. It's hard to tell on that tiny screen. Oh, actually, yeah, it looks good. The colour's quite good. A little bit green. So just the white balance. A little bit better. I'm amazed at the picture quality actually, but it is a small screen though, so right, let's get a tape in, shall we, and see if it takes the tape. Okay, I've got a actually it's a Ferguson VIDEOSTAR cassette as well. I've got some of these new actually off of eBay. I think I got 2 or 3 of them at the time. Let's see if it will lace up, because this is usually the point where it doesn't work for me. Of course, it's VHS-C, isn't it? It doesn't auto-lace like Betamax. I'll be forgetting myself. Right, let's go to record play. Let's reset the counter. It's on 0. Memory on. Record play. It's loud on it. Yes, it's lacing up. It's quite loud. It's gone straight. Is it going to record? No, there we go. It stopped. So I can control it from the camera here. Let's have a look. There we go. That's working. Tape's going round. Be interested to see if it's recording anything. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like actually in the in that big rig, and see how comfortable it is to hold as well, because it looks quite cumbersome. But I've got quite a number of VHS-C camcorders from the time period, and it's amazing just how quickly the technology changed between sort of 1980 and 1985, 86. Things just ran quite along quite quickly, and everything got ever so small so quickly as well. But back in the day, obviously these things weren't cheap, so to own anything like this was quite expensive. So a lot of people rented here in England, and it's probably a better idea to rent as well back then, because as I say, technology changes so quickly, it soon became obsolete. Certainly a lot of money to invest. I'll have to look through some of my What Hi-Fi or What Video magazines to see if I can find the price of this when it came out. And here we are. I've managed to find it in my Video A-Z guide from 1983. Price £1.95. Nice young lady here demonstrating the JVC version on her shoulder, minus the battery I might add, and with a different camera. Looks like the GX88. Here we go. Average price £1,070 back in 1983, and that's with the camera. Here they're showing it, I think, with the GX78. Yeah, that's the JVC version. There wasn't actually a tuner for this, interestingly, but you could get an adapter from the full-size Ferguson tuner for the full-size VHS machine, so you could do a recording onto the tape, but you couldn't do a timer recording. But yeah, there you go. Not cheap. So I've done a bit of recording now, so let's stop it there. Let's rewind it back, see if it works. Oh, the rewind's working. Is it going to play? That's it, because it's gone beyond memory. Oh, it's not playing back. Let's try eject. Tape's okay. Record lock on or off. There we go. Because record lock was on, it's user error. Right, is anything going to come up? Oh, it's working. It's recording. Is there any sound? Can't hear any audio. Got a picture, as you can see on there. It's juddering slightly. Let's just adjust the tracking. Not sure why there's no sound. But it is recording a picture, so that's something, I suppose. Just there was a little bit of juddering there. And no audio. Could be a bad cable. Well, that recording went quick, didn't it? Well, for a first test, I don't think they've done too badly, really. Well, the microphone's working, so we're getting feedback. So, well, maybe the heads are dirty. Could be something as simple as that. Let's try it again. This has probably not been used for over 20 years, maybe even 30 years. There's definitely no sound coming from it. So we know the microphone's okay on the camera, so it's got to be this recording unit. Maybe I've got a head cleaner actually upstairs. I can run through it quickly. I don't like using them because obviously you can wear the heads down. But for an initial test, it's not done bad. Got a still image there. Just no sound. We'll try one more recording. I just remembered actually, this is actually running off the battery, isn't it? So it's doing well. It's going to powering up that camera as well. Let's try doing one more recording. And there was still no audio with the second test. I decided to not bother with the head cleaning tape. In fact, I didn't actually have one. I thought I had one, but I couldn't find it. And I've decided to just open this unit up and have a look inside to see what's going on in here. So this has now turned into a repair video, which I don't mind. I find this quite interesting actually. I know a lot of people that watch these things do too. And of course it may help somebody else out with the same machine. Date code there, 1982 to 83, week or month 2. It's also got a date code for 84 to 85. But this one's selected for 1982 to 83. It's quite a simple unit to take apart this, but there are 2 tabs at the back here you mustn't forget about. The lid must come off first before the base, because there is actually a screw on the side holding the base on. And there we go, there is actually some fracturing on this one. Just there and there, there and there. The plastics have cracked. I wonder if it's a reaction to the wrong grease, because for plastics it should be a plastic friendly silicone grease. Oh, the heads look quite dirty actually. There's a dark ring around the bottom of them. Audio head looks clean. This is another unit I have here. These heads are quite clean actually, so I've got some spares there. But this one, the cracking seems a little bit more severe. As you can see, there and there. There. On the JVC version over here, it's even worse. That's raised. So as you can imagine, the arms can't lace up. Someone's been in this before. Some scratch marks there where the PCBs join. Oh, you've got a power save switch there on the other side. That's been selected to off. And this here is the audio board. This can on the side here just pops off, there are no screws. This is also full of capacitors. Then there's one screw on the side to undo. So it's definitely been in here before. To get the front off, you need to remove the two Phillips screws that hold the camera socket in place. And then there's a plastic clip on the left, one on the right under the counter, and there's two connecting points at the bottom of the PCB to the motherboard underneath. You then just need to gently pry open the board connecting points, not applying too much pressure. So it looks like we have a lot of leaky capacitors on the audio board. We'll lose that pretty much. For that one there. See where the board's gone dark around it. That one there. That one there. Seems to be all the black ones. So, if I just swap that board out for if I've got one that's okay, then I can fix that at a later date. Here we go, I've got another one here from another machine. This has got all yellow capacitors, and they seem to be okay. Different revisions there on those two JVC chips. Yes, they're certainly bad. Never seen such bad capacitors actually on a machine from this generation, this time period. It's usually the later stuff. So we'll try swapping that out and see if it makes any difference. Do love the modular design of this unit. Right, let's give those heads a quick clean. The way I do it, bit of paper, some isopropyl alcohol. Gently rub the head by it. Never up and down. Made that mistake when I was a teenager on a pneumatic machine. Rubbed it upwards, snapped the head off. Of course the heads are quite big on a pneumatic machine. Still look quite worn. Might change those heads out, but we'll see if the audio works first and what the picture quality is like. Interesting there, you've got a switch there, look for black and white or colour. Guess it depends on your camera. Right, let's see if there's a picture. Oh, and sound.
It's amazing just how quickly the technology changed in sort of 1980 and 1985, 86. Things just ran quite quickly. Everything got ever so small so quickly as well.
Yeah, sound's not right there, is it? We've got sound, but it's running slow.
Everything like this is quite expensive, so a lot of people rented here in England. And it's probably a better idea to rent as well.
Definitely running a bit slow.
Technology changes so quickly, it soon became obsolete.
And interesting, you can see how the two videos are becoming out of sync with each other due to the capture speed not running correctly. So it's looking like I've got a captured servo motor control issue here. The signal that's controlling the speed of the capstan motor is not quite right. So the next thing I'll do is have a look at the servo control board, which is on the bottom of this machine, and we'll see if there's anything amiss on that. And sure enough, there are some more black capacitors that are leaking. Seems to be just the black capacitors on this machine that leak. The yellow ones seem to be just fine. So it must have been a bad batch of capacitors that JVC used for this machine. So we'll swap those out next to see if that makes any difference with the speed control. Well, I'm pleased to say that sorted out the issues with the servo capstan control problem, but now I had a new problem. Now the picture was in black and white, although funnily enough if I plugged the video camera in while the picture was playing back, sometimes I would get some colour banding. So the next thing to do was to try and find out what was going on there. So I looked at the board on the back. This board is the DC to DC converter and video circuitry board. And sure enough, I found a leaking capacitor. The chips on this, there's 3 chips here, custom chips. Well, I say chips, populated boards that actually just pull off to reveal a lot more capacitors underneath. It's interesting that manufacturers used to do this actually back in the day. They would just be standard components, but what they would do is they would colour them in. Sometimes they would fill things with epoxy or just colour them with paint so that other manufacturers couldn't open it up, have a look inside and copy their ideas, I guess. Seems quite strange really, doesn't it? But that kind of thing did go on back in the day and it probably still does now. But yes, there's a lot of capacitors in this board. But unfortunately, even though I swapped the one out that I could see that was leaking, it still didn't cure my problem. So then I thought to myself, well, I've got a spare machine, this JVC machine, so I'll take the board out of this and pop that on. And that did cure the problem. The black and white picture went away, but unfortunately the picture was very unstable. In fact, it was very, very wobbly, and there seemed to be an awful lot of dropout. Okay, so this is the JVC board. This seems to be recording and playing back in colour now, but it's got a bit of a warble to the picture. And I have noticed some corrosion. You may not be able to see that on camera, but just on the pins there's some green there and some green there. Front door went. Right, where was I? Yes, so these capacitors here, I'm not sure if these have been done after, because normally they're situated underneath. There's another one here, look, to compare. It's just that one there. Oh no, it's that one there. So they've not been able to fit underneath, so they're mounted to the side. But I can see something going on down there. It looks like a bit of a spillage, I'm not sure. I'm going to remove the capacitor to have a look underneath of it and see. And there was another one as well just there, I've noticed. It looks a bit iffy. So we'll pull them out next, have a look at them. If they look okay, I'll test them with my capacitor tester. And then we'll pop them back in again. It's just weird how there's corrosion there, a bit of green. And next to that resistor as well. It only takes a couple of caps to not be as efficient. And obviously you've lost your filtering and the picture can warble. So we'll look at that next. There you go, I've just removed that and sure enough it is leaking, or had leaked. It's very dry now, no doubt. I've actually had caps before still register, even when they've been leaking. There we go, 25.2 US, what's it supposed to be? It's supposed to be 47. So yeah, that's definitely not working right, is it? It's lost half of its capacitance, I think, or just under. Yeah, it's a 47 UF 16 volt. So we'll swap that out. It looks like it's been dry for a while, because it's pretty, you can see just there, there's nothing residue behind. You can't always tell looking at them from above. Sometimes you've got to remove them to have a look, because sometimes that mess can just be left over from flux from being made. That one's leaking as well, just left a right mess behind, that one has. So that one was a 33 UF 10 volt. Let's see what that one's putting out. Yeah, it's low as well. So it's down quite a bit by a third. There we go, 16 volt. You can go up on the voltage, but you mustn't go below on the capacitance. At least that one's nice and small, so that'll be able to get covered. Right, that's those two done. I'm going to have a look for some more now. I'll do that off camera. Okay, so I've just replaced 14 of those black capacitors because they seem to be the ones giving the trouble. There was only one that wasn't leaking, but I still replaced it anyway, even though I tested it and it tested it okay. Thought I'd still swap it out while I was there, which was that one there actually, that 50 volt one. I've had to bend a couple of these over and put some heat shrink on because I've only got the larger caps, I haven't got the lower profile ones. So now I'm going to put these chips back over and hope they all go back on okay. It's a bit tight in here, but it was the only way I could do it. And someone else has already been in here anyway and done the same thing I have with those two blue ones there. So it's time to start putting it back together. These have an arrow on, so you know which way around they go, but I'm still going to check it with what I've already done. Find the board. Here we go. So that's actually the other end, that one. That one on. This one here goes in the middle. There's even components underneath. It's a bit tight there, but I've covered it with heat shrink, so it should be okay. And now the last one. More some tape actually over that. There we go, all back on. Let's try it out now and see if it works. See if we get a more stable picture. Okay, it's time for the first power up. Since I've recapped it, hopefully you won't hear any popping sounds, because if I do, that means I put a capacitor in the wrong way or created a short somewhere. So, fingers crossed. Well, so far so good. Right then. Rewind it because it was at the end of the last recording. Mind you, I think I need to make a new recording, don't I, actually? Pictures all over the place there. So it's looking worse now than it was before. But that could be because it was the old recording with the old caps. Let's do a new recording. Well, at least it's still working. Okay, here we are. This is a test recording now after the first recap of the backboard there. So we'll see how this looks. Just now on the initial playback from the previous recording it looked worse, but like I mentioned, it could have been because it was with the old capacitors and things are all out of sync, maybe, I don't know. But hopefully this will look a lot better and still be in colour. If not, we'll have to go back to the drawing board. So let's have a look. So after reassembling this machine and then thinking, wow, this is all done complete, took it out to do some test recording, and to my despair, the picture was black and white again, and intermittent as well. I was losing a picture altogether. And it turns out here, as you can see, I've got some dry joints, some cold solder joints. The pins have actually come away from the board, and this is one of the connecting points that connects the PCB to the bottom PCB. I think all the taking it apart and putting it back together again has weakened it. Well, there you go, I got it working, I'm pleased to say. I had no idea this was going to end up being a repair video, so I'm sorry for those of you who don't like long videos. This has gone a little bit longer. But to be honest with you, I was going to split this into two, but I thought, you know what, no, I'm going to leave it as a long video. It's nice to do a big video now and again. I've assembled some more equipment here to show you quickly before we go. There's 3 more machines here, or 3 in total here, VHS-C machines, all based on the same model. In the middle there you've got the JVC version with its camera, the GZS3. Then you've got the TMP3 colour monitor that matches that one. That's the Ferguson gear I've been working on. And this one here is the Normandy version. There's also a Telefunken 1990 which I don't own yet. Hopefully I'll get one of those one day. But this one here is one of my favourites actually. I love the vinyl effect on it. It's very 1970s, and that's a sort of gunmetal grey cabinet as well. And I love the layout of the buttons, the round buttons. And there's no slidey cover on this one, like the other two have, to stop you accidentally pressing a button. Oh, but it's in very good condition this, and would you believe it's dead? It doesn't work. It's not doing absolutely anything. Interesting thing to note actually, this one here has a DIN output for your AV connector rather than a BNC and a 3.5mm audio jack, but you've still got your standard RF output there. What else have we got to show you? Ferguson also did a video light as well. This originally had a 1000 watt halogen bulb in it, and it's also got a fan built in the back. I've actually converted it to LED. It's more for decorative purposes really, but it's still quite cool looking, I thought. I've been using the one above there for a couple of years now. What else was there? What was this? I mentioned this little adapter. I thought it went with the rig, but it actually goes with these cameras. So it allows you to put the viewfinder on the side there rather than having it on the top in the middle. Because when you're using it, it's a lot more user friendly to have it on the side there than it is in the middle, because you end up banging your nose on the end of the cabinet there. And it also gives you an extra hot shoe mount. And last but not least is that mini rig, should I say, I'm thinking Star Wars toys. The giant rig there, the JVC rig. I've got the JVC version, this is the Ferguson one, it's exactly the same again, it's a clone. This allows you to pop your VHS-C video recorder on the back and your colour video camera on the front. I've got the Normandy C150 here on the front, which actually works, but the Ferguson on the back doesn't. Just quickly there's your camera connection point, and the cable goes all the way through here, and on the back is the connecting area. So underneath of that area there is where the 10-pin connector goes, and then obviously the remote control point goes in there. This is dropped down because I haven't got the bottom screwed in. And then the remote part goes all the way across the side of the cabinet to this point here. It gives you access to the basic controls for the VCR, so you can still play your tapes back instantly rather than taking it all apart. I didn't think I had this adapter here that holds the viewfinder in place, but this was actually broken on one of mine, but I managed to make one good one out of the two. But it's a little bit floppy though, it's not very sturdy at all, but it does the job. But I still love it. Like I mentioned before, I love the awkwardness of it. And it's quite heavy as well, cumbersome to use. But I shall probably have a go at using that. And just under this point here is where your battery is. Move that back. So this will take a larger capacity battery. And you've still got access to your video output, the audio and UHF. Yeah, I do like that. Quite hard to come by, these are actually. When you see them on eBay, sometimes they command quite a high price. I'm probably going to put the instruction manual up on a video for this, because there's quite a few parts involved with it, and sometimes they end up being missing. You see people list them on eBay with bits missing, not realising. So you could end up buying it like I did on my last one, not having all the parts you need to make it work. So I'll probably do a separate video for that if anybody's interested, and I might do it for the camera as well and the VCR, because I have all the original manuals. Well, I think that's just about it. I think that's the end of another video. I've really enjoyed making this one actually. It's been fun getting all this gear out of the loft and reassembling it all, putting it all back together and matching everything up. We'll be doing some future videos on the parts that aren't working, like some of these cameras. Because there's that one there, there's also the GZS5. Oh, that video just stopped recording because it's run out of tape. This one here is the deluxe version of that. This one has autofocus and a stereo microphone on the front, which actually unplugs as well, which is quite cool. So you can plug an external microphone in. But that one there, the viewfinder's working on both of them, but there's no image on the screen. Right, I think I better wrap this one up now. As always, thanks for watching, and until the next video, I'll be seeing you. Something I just want to add for absolute transparency for this video is when I came to capture the VHS-C footage, it actually stopped playing back properly. The VHS-C machine I was capturing from had actually let me down again, and to my despair. As you can see here, this footage is sped up, but you can see the picture quality gradually gets worse and worse. Starts off with black lines of dropout, and then it degrades to black and white, and then I lose the image altogether. So what you see on the little corner of the screen there is actually captured with a Sony SLV-SE820 from around 2002. Video recorders after sort of the late 80s had something called HQ circuitry, so they made the picture quality look a lot better than their predecessors. So interestingly, the picture quality is quite good. Unfortunately, the camera was slightly out of focus. But as you can see, the colour reproduction is very good. So I know the recording side of the machine is working, it's just the playback side. So this will end up being another video. In the future video I will investigate this and we'll see what we can find. Unfortunately, sometimes these things happen and you don't know the results of what you're recording with videotape until you go to view them back. So I just wanted to be honest with this and say that it didn't actually work out as planned in the end. So once again, thanks for watching, and until the next video, I'll be seeing you. And if you did enjoy watching this video, you may want to take a look at some of my other videos on similar themes. I'm always buying something on eBay, some more piece of technology, and trying to repair it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.